Hello, hello, hello. Here I am in Providence, Rhode Island. As I indicated to you on the train coming to Providence, I figured I would probably do another broadcast. It was a very interesting morning because I had planned to have an encounter with the crazy lady, and I had already had my plan, but the crazy lady did not show up. So I was not able to do Act Two, Scene Two with the crazy lady. I'm sure she probably will come back or something like that. Either she'll come back or the opposition will figure out some other kind of strategy. Because I realize, I know the opposition is following me. I think the opposition is following me more than probably someone who's very sincere. So when I speak to you, I'm speaking to the opposition. I know that the crazy lady was a design of the opposition, and the opposition it continues to make strategies that would make things very difficult for me. One thing that I guess I have at my advantage, I think the number one thing that I have at my advantage is that I believe in God and I fear God. And I'm going to try everything I can to do to please God. So I know that as long as I'm trying with all my efforts and all my time and all my desire, trying to please God and obeying God and fearing God, I have no fear. But what has happened is the opposition is persistent. It's a persistent opposition, but it's an ignorant opposition. They try to defy that which God has designed, and God has designed a program for them. I can give you an idea what kind of program God has designed for them. This is date 2022 December, Boston, Massachusetts. I'm not in Boston, I'm sorry. I'm in Providence, Rhode Island. James Baldwin, an African American writer, he wrote a book entitled Fire Next Time. And in his, as I understood it, he was referring to how God would deal with those who disobey Him. I mean, people just for those who aggressively and willfully disobey Him and try to do as they please. The first time, well, it's probably been many times. It may have been multiple times. It may have been billions of times because we're talking about an infinite universe, an infinite time. We're talking about things that we're talking about infinite. So it could have been many, many, many times that some came up to defy God. And only we know one story, and we only know the story of the Noah and the ark. We read the story of Noah and the ark. It says God destroyed the evil ones with water. And I think somewhere in the scripture, I don't know exactly where in the scripture, but somewhere in the scripture, I don't know exactly what book that this particular message is sent, but it said the fire next time. And that's why I have a concern with the nuclear reality. We have a nuclear reality and we have a human reality. And when I read the Bible and when I read science and study science, and I try to put them together, it tells me that the nuclear uh, bomb is the fire next time that was discussed in the Bible many ages ago. And we live in that era. We live in a nuclear age. We live in an age that men openly, aggressively defies the laws of nature. Look at where we at. We live in a country that lawfully and encourages sodomy. What is the purpose of sodomy? What is the purpose of sodomy? What is the purpose of sodomy? And I could only come up with one answer: pleasure. But what does sodomy do to human society? If men begin to love men and women begin to love women, how can we reproduce? How can we keep the species going? So I've, I've studied and studied, and I've studied and studied and contemplated. Here I am. Next year I will be 73 years old. 73 years young. I will live to be 100. God is my master. But you think of how this modern society openly, and aggressively defies God, the principles, the natural principles, and fail. It's not a matter of failure. It's a matter of I don't care. So when I think of the we live in a nuclear age, and we live in the age of sodomy. We live in an age of disobedience, and we live in an age where men rule. If we look at history and see how men rule, then we already know our destiny. The fire next time. So what is going on here in my life? And I've thought about it over and over and over. I used to think that, oh, this guy has this issue with me because of the color of my skin. I think that racism is like a surface thing, on the surface. I wish I could think of the right word, but maybe I could get you to understand what I'm saying. Racism is like a surface thing. But see, I think the reasons that I have run in my life, here I am, 72 years old, lived in many situations. I've had a lot of experience in life, and I know a lot of different type of people, and I can accept every man is my brother until he proves otherwise. That's how I live. Any man can be my brother or my sister until he proves otherwise. So let's look at the world we live in. Look at the things that are going on here. We are in troubled times. Okay, God create men with two heads. God create human beings with two sex organs. God creates whatever he wants to create. But God makes law. He makes natural law. He makes natural law and principles, and he say, these are the principles that you should abide by. And if you go astray, he got a plan for you. And we have gone astray. Our culture, our, our society, we have gone astray. I thought about the crazy lady over and over. And I was saying, wow, this lady has affected me. The reason why I kept thinking about the crazy lady is because I'm saying to myself, this lady's a human being like myself. And I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I said, oh, maybe she does not mean harm to me. Maybe she's just mixed up. But I began to feel compassion for the crazy lady. And I began to say, what can I do to help her? And it's like her. And it makes no difference. It makes no difference to the opposition. The opposition? Who is the opposition? The opposition is the satanic sodomites. See, the thing is, I learned later in my life that it's not necessarily about racism. It's about issues of immorality. And if you're willing to be immoral, consciously immoral, go against the laws of nature, go against the laws of God, if you consciously determine to do that, then this society this culture that we live in welcomes a man with two heads. God made him. A human being with two sex organs. God made him. He did it for his own purpose. So I'm motivated. And I just had to say something. I had to give a speech today. I got to do it. There's a few other things I need to do. But let me sign off for now. And I will get back to you. This is Musa, Matt Beecham Jr., signing out in Providence, Rhode Island, 2022, United States of America.